Captain Rian Hale did not plan to return to the edge of human space. He wanted peace, a safe place for his daughter, and a life far away from the endless alien war. That was why he brought Lyra, his 10-year-old girl, to Outpost Astra 7, a forgotten station drifting above a dying blue star. The outpost had been abandoned for almost 2 centuries. No power, no signals, no crew. Just silence, cold metal, and dust floating in the dark. Rian believed the silence meant safety. "No one comes here," he told Lyra as their small shuttle docked. "This place is dead." But the moment they stepped inside, Lyra felt something strange. The air was heavy. Like the station was holding its breath. The hallways were long and empty, covered in old warning signs and rusted panels. Everything looked broken. Everything felt forgotten. Rian started cleaning the command room. Trying to make it safe to live in, he wanted Lyra to rest, to forget about the war outside, but Lyra wandered, her small footsteps echoing through the metal corridors. She stopped in front of a dark, cracked control panel. It flickered for a second, then went dark again. Curious, Lyra touched it, and the station awoke. Lights exploded across the walls. Old screens lit up with blue energy. Alarms hummed for the first time in 200 years. Dust fell from the ceiling as ancient machines powered back to life. Rian ran toward Lyra, shocked. None of this should have been possible. Then a voice echoed through the outpost. Low, metallic, and trembling with age. "System awakening. Threat detected." Rian froze. Lyra grabbed his arm, her eyes wide with fear and excitement. "What did I touch?" she whispered. The outpost continued speaking. "Warning. Hostile return predicted. Data suggests catastrophic event. Stand by." Rian checked the consoles. There was no power source. No fuel, nothing connected. Yet the station was alive, fully active, responding to Lyra as if it knew her. Screens flashed ancient logs written by the original crew. Rian opened one. The video showed a terrified officer shouting into the camera, "If anyone finds this, leave the station. Do not activate the core." The enemy. They were not destroyed. We were wrong. The footage cut off with static. Rian felt the station hum beneath his feet. Like a heartbeat growing stronger, the voice spoke again, deeper now. Human presence confirmed. Protocols restored. Preparing defense systems. Lyra whispered, "Dad, I think it's talking to me." Before Rian could answer, a new alarm started. A scanning wave passed through the outpost, shaking the walls. The station announced, "Unknown ships detected. Approaching fast." Rian looked out the viewport. Dark shapes moved in the distance of space. Silent, slow, and hunting. The outpost should have stayed silent, but now it had awakened. And something out there had heard it. Something that had been waiting for this moment for a very, very long time. Rian held Lyra close. He had only wanted a safe place instead. He had stepped into a secret older than humanity itself. And the silence of the outpost was gone forever. The outpost did not calm down. If anything, it became louder, brighter, and more alive with every passing second. Rian stood in the command room, watching ancient holograms flicker around him. They showed warnings, maps, and strange symbols he did not understand. Lyra stayed close to him, her small hand gripping his sleeve. The voice of the outpost spoke again. "Core memory online. Retrieving restricted files. Decrypting." The words echoed through every hallway. It felt strange, as if the entire station was watching them. Thinking, deciding, Rian tried to access the console. Only one message kept appearing on the screen. Access given to Lyra. Rian stared at it in disbelief. "How does it know your name?" Lyra shook her head, confused. I didn't tell it, Dad. The outpost lights dimmed for a moment. Then a large holographic projection appeared above the command table. It showed a group of humans standing in the same room centuries ago. Their faces were tired, afraid, and covered with dust. A scientist in a torn uniform spoke into a recorder. "We have discovered something ancient. Something not made by us. The structure under the outpost is not human." Rian leaned forward. "What structure?" He whispered. The hologram continued, "We believe the creators were." The vanished. The recording glitched, the image shaking like it was in pain. Lyra looked up at Rian. "Who are they?" Rian exhaled slowly. "No one knows. Legends say they disappeared tens of thousands of years ago. Before humans ever reached the stars, the outpost suddenly flashed red. Unauthorized activity detected. Hostile entities tracking the signal." Rian felt his stomach drop. This outpost was never supposed to activate. It was dead for a reason. Someone or something wanted it silent. Lyra walked toward the panel again. "Maybe it just wants to help," she said softly. When she touched it, the outpost responded instantly. The walls shifted, panels opened, and a secret chamber revealed itself at the back of the room. Rian grabbed her shoulder. "Lyra, don't go in." But the outpost interrupted him. "Chamber authorized for Lyra Hale only. Purpose: lineage confirmation." Rian froze. "Lineage?" Lyra's eyes widened. "What does that mean?" Inside the chamber, a glowing crystal-like device hovered in the air. It pulsed with slow, gentle light, almost like a heartbeat. The outpost whispered, "Ancient key fragment detected. Compatible with human DNA. Compatible with Lyra Hale." Rian felt chills. "You're telling me my daughter can activate something alien?" The station did not answer. Instead, the hologram changed again, this time showing a star map, a map that pointed to a hidden location deep in uncharted space. Lyra reached out to the crystal. The moment her hand came close, the entire station vibrated. Light surged through the walls like lightning. The outpost said one word: "Chosen." Rian stepped back, heart pounding. "Lyra, move away from it." But it was too late. The chamber sealed itself shut around her. Machines woke from centuries of sleep. The console displayed a terrifying message: initiating ancient protocol, awakening the buried titan. And deep beneath the outpost, something massive began to move. The lights inside Outpost Helios 9 flickered again, but this time they did not go dark. Instead, a soft blue glow filled every corridor, every doorway, every hidden corner of the ancient structure. It felt almost alive. Sergeant Darius Hollis stood still, holding Myra close behind him. His heart beat fast, not from fear of enemies, but from fear of the unknown. He had survived battles, alien raids, and deep space storms, but he had never seen a station wake up like a living creature. Then the ground gently vibrate. Not an attack. Not a malfunction. It felt more like a heartbeat. Mira grabbed his hand tightly. "Dad, it's talking again." Darius looked up. The strange symbols on the wall rearranged themselves, glowing brighter, shifting like they were trying to form a message for human eyes. A moment later, a voice echoed through the chamber, smooth, old, and layered with static. "Human presence detected. Protocol breach. Initiating emergency disclosure." Darius raised his blaster. Emergency disclosure of what? A humming sound grew behind them as a large circular door slid open. Bright white light spilled out, almost blinding. Inside was a massive holographic sphere filled with star maps, timelines, and warnings. Myra's eyes widened. "It's showing the galaxy." The hologram zoomed out, and the outpost's ancient voice continued. "This station was built to watch the enemy, the one that ended the first civilizations, the one that sleeps beyond the dark veil. Darius felt a chill run down his spine. First civilizations? That's millions of years ago. The hologram suddenly flashed red. Threat reactivation detected. Darius stepped forward. What threat? Who are you warning? The voice responded instantly, almost desperate. All species. All empires. All who wish to survive. The enemy does not destroy planets. It deletes them. The hologram showed worlds vanishing like dust in sunlight. Mira gasped. Dad, it's erasing whole planets. Darius swallowed hard. Why now? Why wake up after so long? For the first time, the ancient voice hesitated, as if deciding whether humanity had the right to know, because only one frequency answered the dormant call. The chamber faded into silence. The hologram dimmed. The vibration stopped. Darius frowned. One frequency? You mean the station interrupted. Only humanity responded. Only humanity hears the warning. Only humanity can act. Darius felt the weight of the message settle on his shoulders. Humanity was not chosen. Humanity had simply heard something others could not. Something meant for civilizations older than anything humans had ever imagined. Mira whispered, Dad, does that mean it woke up for us? Darius didn't know. But he knew one thing. If this outpost was telling the truth, if something ancient was returning, then the galaxy was already in danger, and somehow humanity, small, young, underestimated humanity, was the only one who received the message, the only one who could stop what was coming. The outpost grew quiet again, too quiet. The blue lights faded into a soft glow. Like the station was thinking, remembering. Choosing its next words carefully, Sergeant Darius Halle stood beside Mira, both staring at the last hologram still floating in the air. A map, a warning, a message from a civilization older than memory. Mira's voice was small. Dad, what did they mean by the first civilizations? Darius shook his head slowly. I don't know. But whatever lived before us, they weren't weak. Before he could say more, the floor beneath them suddenly shifted. Metal plates retracted, ancient gears moved for the first time in ages, and a hidden platform began to rise from the ground. Mira stepped back. What is that? The platform reached their level and stopped. On top of it was a strange, curved device, smooth, black, glowing with faint golden symbols. It looked alien. It looked important. The outpost's voice filled the chamber again. Memory capsule awakened. Final records unlocked. The black device projected a new hologram, this one clearer and older than anything they had seen. It showed tall, bright beings of light working on a colossal machine that stretched across a planet's surface. Their bodies were thin, almost transparent, but their eyes were full of fear. A trembling voice spoke from the recording. To those who find this, we leave our final truth. Darius stiffened. Mira held her breath. The hologram showed a massive shadow in space, something so large that even planet-sized machines looked small beside it. The voice continued, We fought the enemy for 5,000 years. We never won a single battle. Darius whispered, Impossible. The beings of light fled as the shadow consumed star systems like sparks falling into water. We built watchers, the voice said, stations that would sleep for ages, waiting for a species that could hear our last warning. Mira looked up at her father. Dad, that's this outpost. Darius nodded slowly. Yes, we're standing on a warning left for the future. The hologram zoomed in on a single golden symbol, the same one glowing softly on Mira's wrist communicator. She hadn't noticed it before. The outpost spoke again, but this time its voice carried emotion, almost sadness. Humanity carries the resonance of the old code. Only your kind can activate the final defense. Darius felt his throat tighten. So we're not chosen. We're compatible. Correct, the outpost replied, but compatibility is enough. The enemy returns. Mira stepped closer to the black device. Is this why it woke up when I touched the panel? The outpost responded immediately. You have the correct pattern. You are the key to the buried Titan. Darius stepped forward protectively. What Titan? The outpost did not hesitate. The last weapon of the first civilizations, hidden beneath this station. Waiting for a pilot. The ground rumbled again. Far below them, something enormous began to shift, metal groaning. Engines warming, ancient systems waking after tens of thousands of years. Mira whispered, her eyes wide with awe and fear. Dad, something big is waking up down there. And Darius realized the horrible truth. They were standing on top of a giant, a Titan built for a war that never truly ended, and it had finally decided to rise. The rumbling grew stronger with every second. Dust fell from the ceiling. Ancient pipes shook. Lights flickered in long patterns, like the station was waking up from a 1,000-year dream. Sergeant. Darius Hawley pulled Mira close as the floor vibrated beneath them. He wasn't scared for himself, he was scared for her. But Mira wasn't afraid. Her eyes shined with a strange calm, as if she understood something he didn't. The outpost's voice echoed around them, clearer than ever before. Titan-class weapon core rising. Preparing surface breach. Darius swallowed hard. This is insane. What have we been standing on? A massive metallic boom shook the entire station. Somewhere deep below, something enormous broke free from the rock bed beneath the outpost. Panels slid open. Energy surged. Heat radiated up through the metal floors. Mira stepped toward the edge of the chamber. Dad, it wants us to see it. A huge platform slowly lifted from the depths like a gigantic elevator carrying a sleeping god. On it rested a war machine larger than anything humanity had ever built. Black metal. Sharp lines. Blue energy veins glowing like rivers of light. The outpost announced with pride, Titan Helios Prime, fully awakened. Darius stared in disbelief. That's not a machine. It was a fortress, a walking city, a weapon from the dawn of time. The Titan's eyes, two bright beams of blue, snapped open. The station shook again as the enormous war machine took its first breath of energy in tens of thousands of years. Mira whispered, "It's alive." The outpost responded instantly. Titan Helios Prime requires a core link operator. Compatible user detected. Darius stepped in front of Mira. No, she's a child. The voice softened, almost gentle. The Titan chooses based on resonance, not age. She carries the code. Only she can connect. Mira touched her father's hand. Dad, I think I can control it. It's calling me. Darius shook his head. Myra, you don't understand what this thing was built for. It's a weapon against something that destroys planets. But Mira looked straight into his eyes, steady, calm, and determined. Then it needs us. And it needs you too. Before Darius could argue, the Titan lowered a long metallic bridge. Symbols lit up along its sides, matching the glowing mark on Mira's wrist device. The station spoke once more. The enemy has awakened. The galaxy is unprepared. Titan Helios Prime activates for humanity. Darius felt a cold chill. So it was true? Humanity was the only species that answered the ancient signal. That made them the first line of defense. And maybe the last. Together, Darius and Mira stepped onto the bridge. The Titan's doors opened like the mouth of a giant guardian. Warm blue light filled the entrance, welcoming them inside. As they walked in, the outpost's final message echoed behind them. Pilot connection initializing. Titan rising. The war of the old age returns, and with a deafening roar of power, the Titan stood up, awake, ready, and loyal only to humanity. The galaxy was not ready for what came next. But humanity would not face it weak. Humanity now walked with a Titan at its side.